Hi, welcome to ACS Composite. My name is Joseph, and this is a 2020 Corvette with the infamous 5EM aero package. The aero package includes a front splitter and the side rockers. And as we've all known, these have been on a national constraint since the inception of the C8. So today we're showing you our option to a similar part. It is our front splitter for the C8 Corvette. There are some subtle differences between the two, basically the construction and the material used. The original part, whether it's visible carbon or carbon flash black, it is made out of a pre-preg carbon material, which is an ultra high performance material known for its lightness. We went a little bit a different route. We're considering more the durability of the part. So we've developed our own PC Composite material for the same part. Cosmetically speaking, it's very hard to tell the difference between the two, but the construction is where the differences come into play. The PC Composite is a black resin that's injection molded in metal dies. This gives us a very high resistant, chip resistant, and most importantly, scrape resistant. So this means if you scrape a driveway or you happen to hit a small curve, the part itself won't shatter. Carbon fiber itself by nature is very dense and very hard, which is how it gets its mechanical strength by being so thin. What we've done is we've beefed up a little bit the splitter by making it thicker out of this material, which is PC Composite. So if you do get rock chips, it is carbon flash, the substrate is black, it'll be very easy to repair. If you scrape a driveway, it won't shatter. This carbon is so thin that the second you scrape a driveway, it'll tear just like a piece of paper. Ours has about a 3mm thickness, plus the mechanicals of the material lends itself to basically scrape. So you should not be breaking it unless you hit something very hard and rigid. My goal is basically to explain all the different raw materials and why the selection of each material is applicable for the part, and obviously its price point. The original piece is a pre-preg carbon fiber material, which is done in an autoclave, which mechanically speaking is phenomenal. It's known for its lightness and rigidity, but it's not known for its scrapability or durability. Great part when it comes to race cars and show cars, but if this is a daily driver, there's a very high likelihood that this will not see a long life on the vehicle. The C8 does have the lift suspension, which helps a lot, a much better ground clearance than the C7, but even to this date, we're 1 year into the C8 and I've had 3 or 4 customers break this very pricey front piece. So one of our criteria is to find a balance. We feel durability is the most important. Performance is second, so we don't want the part to vibrate or not have a resistance to wind at super high speed. And basically this is where our PC Composite comes in. We know there's several pieces already on the market that look similar, and we're probably later into the game, meaning it's a year after and we're just getting ready to launch the product and introduce it to you. And this is basically because of tooling involved. All these pieces are done in metal dies, they're done in large presses, which are about 30 feet high. We do have a great output, but the initial investment and the development to get there is what takes us longer. So here we are today, and we have a piece right out of the tool. And what we do love about this PC Composite is its strength. So it is very rigid. We do know it will stand any highway speed or racing speed, that is. But as I try to break it, I basically have to find that geometric spot where I could try to go get it, and I can't. I mean, mechanically speaking, this is stronger than that. What this has is strength by density, meaning it's lighter and it's stronger. This one is a little bit heavier by probably 2 to 3 pounds, but it is just as strong. So it's just as durable from a wind resistance. And because it's black, this is the color right out of the tool. If it chips, easy to repair, and more than likely you're not gonna see it. On the bottom surface, we've enhanced the lip on it. So it's actually a little thicker, and this was done intentional. This is done to give you a little bit more meat if ever you do scrape a driveway or basically a small curb rash or something like that. So the durability of this part was really important to us, and that's why we selected this particular material. Obviously what we've done here with the piece we're installing, we've top coated with carbon flash black. This is the official trim color of the C8. So we'll notice every C8 does have a carbon flash hood insert. This one already upgraded to the carbon insert, but the grille bezel is carbon flash, and generally this whole area is carbon flash. We have the rear inserts, the rear spoiler, the diffuser, and the door trim, which could be carbon flash depending on option. So this was the natural color to choose. And then the next step will be the installation, which is very similar to a Z51 installation. So if your car's going through PDI, this is probably something that could be easily replaced. It's just fastened by a series of T15 screws. So we're gonna walk you through it on the black car, show you how it installs, and then drop the car and take a look and compare the two head to head. Here we are, we have our black C8. This is a Z51 car, so it came from the factory or from the dealer with this part. So it's a Z51 splitter. This is a three-piece design with a seam right in the middle. It does have a, I call it a carbon checkered textured, but basically there's a machine texture in it. It's a good cost-effective splitter. It does look good on the car. It doesn't look high-end because it's not painted, but it is something we offer. So we do offer the same part smooth painted carbon flash for the more conservative customer or car personality. But this is the piece that we'll be removing to install our new splitter. One thing to note is if you order the Z51 car, this is standard. It gets installed in PDI. If you order the non-Z51 car, there's no splitter on the car. But it is the same fascia. So this means this splitter will fit a non-Z51 car, our splitter will, and basically all the C8 splitters on the market today are interchangeable on all the cars, depending if they're HTC or convertible or Targas or Z51 or not. We do get a lot of inquiries on that, whether it's the splitter or the spoiler. So everything is all interchangeable since there's only one trim level. So the bumper is always the same part number on all the C8s as of today. So who knows what's going to happen with the Z06, but this is actual. The removal of the stock splitter is very straightforward. It's held on by a series of T15 screws. And if you don't have a splitter, the screws are already there. They're actually holding the fascia to the structure of the car, the sub pieces. So very straightforward. We jacked up the car just so we could get better shots for the video. If not, if you're doing this at home, you want to at least drive the car on some ramps or off a ledge in your garage. Or if you like, you can get one of these angle drivers attached to an electric drill, and this way you have full access to remove it. This is how simple the installation of a C8 splitter is. So we get a lot of calls asking, should this be installed by a professional? It is always recommended. It's easier and they can't charge more than an hour or two for it. But I feel anybody could do this mod at home without any issues. Unlike the C7, there are no rivets on a C8 to be removed. So the installation is much easier. So again, don't be scared. This could be your first hands-on mod that you do to your C8, and I'm not too concerned. If you have any questions, you could always call us and we'll walk you through details of it. But there are detailed instructions in the box walking you through all this. So again, I'd say this is probably one of the easiest mods out there now. So I'll jump right in, I'll do it. There's not too much to say, so we're basically starting in the center and just removing all the screws. I'll be leaving one every 3 or 4 just to hold it a little bit in position so it doesn't sag on me. And we are reusing the same screws, and these are great screws. They're T15 with a large fender washer or washer built into it, so they do spread the load. I'm gonna skip that one. Here's a perfect example. This is the Z51 splitter. It's made out of a TPO plastic, which is even softer than our TPO. And the reason GM was able to get away with that is because it is so small. But we see here scrapes. And this car has about 3,000 to 4,000 miles. And we've scraped the whole front several times and the corner. But from the top side, you can't tell. So it's still a good part that nobody would change or service, because it's been durable. It's got a good scrapability factor. And our PC Composite is very similar from that aspect. So we do see a lot of pieces out there made out of ABS, which is a very cost-effective, easy to manufacture plastic, but that's just way too soft. So that one would actually crack. And we've done testing to compare that. But basically that's the variable or the selection in the material. So we don't want to lose that property, but at the same time, because the other splitter is much bigger, we needed more mechanicals out of it, and that's where the carbon had nice properties. So it's a nice thing to see, and we're looking forward to basically beat the hell out of the splitter that we're putting on and show you how durable it really is. I left a couple of screws on simply because I didn't want it to sag out me, but I have the one center one and it'll be completely off. There we have it, the splitter's off the car. We noticed there's a lot of grime on the surface, so we're just gonna clean that. But I just wanted to take this opportunity to basically show the major differences of the two. So in the center, this one's much cleaner and softer, meaning it doesn't have this body line, but the overall length is about the same. If anything, I would say this one's about ½ an inch taller, but height-wise, it looks the same. On the sides is where we notice the big difference. The 5EM splitter does have a much stronger, more aggressive extension in the front, and that's basically why it's a performance splitter. It's covering more surface areas and extending out, and that's what you'll want really out of a splitter. Obviously, there's a signature winglet on it, which the Z51 doesn't have, and the surface finish is carbon flash and smooth. So we're gonna clean the surface, put all the screws back on, and that's it for the install. I'm getting ready to lift the part. I could have done it alone, but it's a lot easier with the help, so I'm getting somebody to just give me a hand on the other side. I'm gonna put it up, put the screws. I'm not gonna tighten them, simply because I'm gonna double check to center it. So off we go. I'm centering the part, and all I wanna do now is really pick up the weight. Thank you. I'm going to put several screws randomly. None of them are tight. That means the splitter could still move left to right. I do want to stand up and make sure that the splitter is centered on the car. So I have a center line of the car, center line of the splitter. And the easiest are to use the gapping between the winglets and the car itself. So I'm double checking both sides, looks even. I'm ready to tighten it. So at this point, I've put probably 8 out of 10 screws. I'm gonna start at one end and torque them all in. On the other side of the screw, there's a U-nut. So basically, I'm using an electric drill with a preset torque. If you're doing it by hand, you basically want to get it tight. You don't want to over tighten it because you could strip that U-nut. Once you feel the material's compressed and tight, you're good. And that's it, all the screws are in, everything is tightened, and officially the install's done. We could drop the car and take an overall look of the two. There we have it, the installation of the 5EM splitter is complete. We have here our interpretation of the 5EM front splitter out of a PC Composite. It's got the signature winglets on it. This one is coated in carbon flash black, and to the naked eye in bright light, You almost think it's gloss black matching the car, but we do appreciate that little silver flake in it that highlights the spear and the insert. So it is, again, the natural trim color. We have next to us the original 5VM from GM, and really cannot tell the difference between the two. We're eager to see how much longer this will perform mechanically from a scrapability and chipping standpoint. So that's the big advantage. And of course, pricing. We're price targeting about half the price of the OEM one. We're sacrificing a few pounds in weight, probably 1 or 2 at most, but we're gaining a lot in durability and we think performance. If you have any questions, you know how to reach us. You can reach out to us through the different platforms through the website, acscomposite.com, or the comments below. Have a great day. Thank you.